I walked into the weight room at the Charleston YMCA. It was late January 2005. Just a bit after 5 o'clock, I tossed my red gym bag over my shoulder and I scanned the room. Out of the corner of my left eye, I noticed an older gentleman, thin, gaunt, straining through bicep curls with a pair of dumbbells, 25, maybe 30 pounds in each hand, the same weight I, 25 years younger, would normally grab. His face told the story of a battle with cancer, but his determination, his effort, that told the story of his life. That man was my mentor, my colleague, my role model, my friend. His name was John Wells Jr. Less than 10 days later, cancer claimed his body, took his life, but not his spirit, never his spirit. John Wells lived life to the full. He led boldly. He loved deeply. He raised millions of dollars to build enhancements to our community. Ones like the new indoor pool in that YMCA in Charleston. He gave tirelessly to the Boy Scouts, the United Way, and to countless young leaders, including me. His excellence was recognized on a national stage. In 1985, John Wells Jr. was named National Man of the Year for the furniture industry. 15 years later, in 2000, John was honored with the prestigious Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. He never sought the spotlight, and yet one day, the President of the United States, George W. Bush, stood in Charleston and honored John Wells for his service. To me, John was more than all that. He was the man who sat with me, asked the hard questions, the deep questions. He shared wisdom and showed me what it meant to live with courage, humility, and heart in all my roles in life. As a business owner, as a husband, as a community servant, as a father. In the fall of 2004, as his health waned, John and I made a decision. We would sit down together. We would record some of his wisdom, his stories, his lessons. Not knowing how little time we had left, those conversations became a gift I now share with you. Welcome to a special 4-part mini-series of the Main Thing podcast. Over the next several episodes, you'll hear rare recordings from John Wells Jr., captured more than 20 years ago. These may well be the prequel to this very podcast. Each episode will feature John's voice, his perspective, and his tireless wisdom. My hope is simple, that these conversations spark growth in you, just as they did in me, and that they honor the life of a man whose legacy continues to ripple outward. So let's begin with John Wells Jr., a leader, a servant, a mentor, and my friend.
One time, and I think it might even have been my middle son who ended up being a state champion and being all-state and wide receiver. So he's received the epitome of the awards, but yet he was the lowest at one time and struggling trying to get to this place. So he was down in the depths of the whole thing, and I said, David, if you were playing a championship game and both teams were undefeated, one of them's from the northern part of the state and the other one from our part of the state, we were the other team. And this was for the game of all games. The first quarter, your team scored 4 touchdowns. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? He said, oh, you're not kidding. That would just be great. I said, in the second quarter, your team would score 2 more touchdowns. And then it would be the other 0 to your 6 touchdowns. At the end of the game, you'll have won 106 or whatever that comes out to 0. Would that be a great way to win a championship game? He said, you're not kidding. I said, you wouldn't have any opposition at all. You'd be able to go all the way from 0 to 100, sail right through the quarter. Hey, we got the quarter done. No score there. Halftime, nobody's scoring against us. We got this team beat. Let's all have a Coke. Put the subs in. Third quarter, we score some more touchdowns. No way they can come back and beat us. Now, we have got this championship won. We're all sitting back with our hands up. The game's over. Now we're the champions. We've won 106 to nothing. We all go home. We celebrate at home with a family celebration. And about 10 o'clock that night, somebody says to me, no contest to that game, was there? No. But we won 106 to nothing. Well, let's see. Let's start all over again with this game. Down at the fourth quarter, it's 6-0, and then our team comes in and scores 6 points. So now we're 6-6, and you kick off to the other side, and they bring the thing down to the 50-yard line, and then they lose the ball, and now we're down to 2 minutes in the game. And you take a drive. You start that drive and you go all the way down to the 6-yard line. And there's only just a few seconds to go. And you've either got to run that ball across that line or you're going to have to kick a field goal. Well, you got a fair field goal kicker. There's a risk there both ways. Well, as it goes, we kick the ball and we get the field goal, and now we win the game. Now, we're just talking here. Do you think it would be better to have won that game today by that margin of 3 points under those conditions, or to have won it at 106 to nothing? Well, the answer from the people in the room was, oh, I'd rather won it by the 1 score. I said, are you saying to me then that you want to make it more difficult to win and struggle to win, or that you want it to be easy? Well, I like it being easy, but I'd like to have had more satisfaction out of winning it.
It might mean more.
I said, in other words, you're telling me that the struggle that you would get from the experience would be more satisfying. That's right. But during the process of playing the game, you don't feel that way. The point of this whole thing, as confusing as it may be, is that in life, when we're struggling and standing on top of struggle, whatever it be, your house burned down or a disease or some problem in your neighborhood or with your family or what have you, when you're standing on top of that struggle, you don't see far enough ahead to see the advantage of that. And so in a sports game, when you're playing the game, you don't want to struggle. You just want to get out of the deal. But it's only in retrospect that we appreciate the struggle. So, the conclusion is that God blesses us with struggle every day of our lives. And the more we can see that struggle as an opportunity instead of a drag, the happier we're going to be. because it's the truth. I mean, I have cancer, and I have very little chance of living very long, but that's okay. There's many reasons I feel okay about it, but I can just tell you that the struggle that we live with, there's lots of love and joy and wonderful things that go along with all of that stuff. We can be at peace in our heart and our mind just by saying to ourselves that we appreciate the opportunity that God has blessed us. Whether you believe in God or what you believe in, I'm not suggesting it's a religious thing so much as it's simply a way of looking at the opportunity. I just know that it's not going to defeat me. Sometimes we just have to brainwash ourselves into believing these things, because the negativism is all around us, all in the world. I'm so thankful for the adversity and struggle that it has become something that I look forward to.
That goes by incredibly fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're hacking wisdom. Thank you for listening to this wisdom conversation. If you enjoyed this podcast and found the wisdom lesson valuable, then I encourage you to share it with a loved one or friend. Did you know podcast recommendations from one person to another remain the strongest form of podcast growth worldwide? It's true, and we'd appreciate you helping spread the good word. Let's give a big hearty thank you to the crew of the Main Thing Podcast. These are the folks who truly keep the wisdom pipeline flowing. Audio engineer Bob Hotchkiss, strategy advisor Andy Malinowski, public relations and partnerships guru Rachel Bell, social media and digital marketing expert Chloe Linneberg, graphic designer Emma Malinowski, and of course our patrons, those generous folks who provide monthly funding support to help underwrite our costs of production. I couldn't do it without you, nor would I want to. Your feedback matters a lot. If you have a question, a suggestion, maybe an idea, or even a nomination of a future show guest, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at info@themainthingpodcast.com. Well, that's a wrap for this show. I'm your host, Skip Linneberg, signing off for now and inviting you to join us again next time for another special delivery of wisdom.